In 1947, the quiet desert town of Roswell, New Mexico, was about to become the epicenter of the greatest and most enduring mystery in American history. On a stormy July night, something fell from the sky, something that defied all known physics, something the U.S. government never wanted you to see. It was a moment that could have changed humanity's understanding of its place in the universe forever. Instead, it was buried under a mountain of lies. The official story was crafted with suspicious haste. A weather balloon, they said. Nothing more. The military's public relations office issued a press release that was as simple as it was false. But within hours, that explanation would begin to unravel, and the real story, one filled with secrets, lies. And visitors not of this earth would take shape behind a veil of national security. The stage was set for a 70-year-long cover-up. Witnesses reported strange debris scattered across a ranch unlike anything ever seen before. The material was impossibly lightweight, yet incredibly strong. It was metallic, but unburned despite the fiery crash. It bent in impossible ways and, when crumpled, would snap back into its original shape. Some even claimed it seemed to emit a faint, pulsating light, as if it were almost alive. The technology was decades beyond anything humanity had conceived. The first military response came from the Roswell Army Airfield. Major Jesse Marcel was the lead intelligence officer sent to recover the wreckage. He, a seasoned and highly decorated officer, believed even then that it was no weather balloon. He gathered the debris, a moment that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Before taking it to the base, he made a decision that would become a legendary detail in the saga. He brought some of the material home and let his young son, Jesse Jr., touch it. His son never forgot the feel of that strange alien metal. It was a tangible piece of a truth the world would soon be denied. Then, suddenly and brutally, the narrative changed. A senior officer from Fort Worth, Texas, General Roger Ramey, flew to Roswell, took control of the investigation, and orchestrated a shocking reversal. The Army issued a new statement. It retracted their original press release, held a press conference, and displayed what they claimed was the real wreckage, a flimsy conventional weather balloon. The media, without asking too many questions, complied. The story did, at least on the surface. But under that surface, the truth was boiling, kept alive by those who saw what they saw and knew what they knew. In the decades that followed, new testimonies began to emerge. People who had stayed silent for years out of fear, or bound by strict military orders, started to talk, and what they described was nothing short of astonishing. They weren't just talking about a weather balloon. Some spoke of bodies, small gray beings with oversized heads and large, black, lidless eyes. These weren't hypothetical creatures. They were recovered from the crash site, moved in secrecy under armed guard. Their remains were transported to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where they were studied and kept away from the public at any cost. A network of secrecy was built, not to protect the country from a foreign enemy, but to protect the public from a truth they were deemed unable to handle. Now, fast forward to the declassified CIA documents. Files hidden for decades under national security seals, filled with redacted lines and black ink. But some parts, the crucial parts, made it through, and what they say changes everything. One document refers to foreign technology of unknown origin being studied in New Mexico in the late 1940s. Another discusses biological specimens recovered from an aerial vehicle, not Russian, not Chinese, not human. The language is sterile and scientific, but the implications are staggering. An internal memo leaked years later hints at the profound psychological threat of mass panic if the truth were revealed. The CIA feared societal breakdown not because of an invasion from an enemy on Earth, but because of what came from above. The fear was that religion, government, and the very fabric of society would collapse. If the public realized we were not alone, the decision was made. The truth was too dangerous. A former CIA operative who testified anonymously in a 2013 closed-door congressional briefing claimed to have seen the original Roswell files. His voice was disguised, his identity protected, but his words were chilling. He stated unequivocally that the craft was not made by human hands, and that the beings recovered were biological entities from a non-terrestrial source. His testimony wasn't based on speculation. It was based on classified documents he had personally viewed. He also stated something chilling, that reverse engineering began almost immediately. that decades of rapid technological advancement, from the microchip to fiber optics, from night vision technology to stealth bombers, were seeded by what was recovered that night in 1947. The government, he claimed, made a pact. Keep the truth hidden, exploit the advanced technology, control the narrative, and suppress every witness who dared to speak. And above all, never admit the truth. This was the birth of the military-industrial UFO complex. And then there are the whistleblowers. People like Colonel Philip Corso, who claimed to have managed a program at the Pentagon that funneled alien technology into private corporations under classified military contracts. His book, The Day After Roswell, provides a stunning first-hand account of this process. Or the nurse, working at the Roswell Army Airfield, who said she was present during the autopsy of a non-human being. These are not just wild conspiracy theories. They are first-hand testimonies, official documents, and interviews that form a consistent and compelling narrative. And most damning of all, they reveal patterns. Patterns of silence, patterns of fear, and patterns of control. Roswell wasn't just a crash. It was a turning point. A moment when the world could have changed forever, if only we were allowed to see. But we weren't. Instead, we were fed a series of distractions. Project Mogul, weather balloons, swamp gas. It's anything to keep our eyes away from the truth. Because if the public ever knew what really happened, everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe would be challenged. Imagine the implications. That we are not alone. Others have been here, watching, studying, maybe even shaping events from the shadows. The cover-up wasn't just about Roswell. It was about everything that came after. The countless sightings, the abduction phenomena, the mysterious men in black. It all traces back to one moment, one crash, and one lie. And the CIA? They were right in the middle of it from the very beginning, monitoring, managing, and manipulating every aspect of the narrative, deciding what we should and should not know, all in the name of national security. But is true security based on a foundation of lies? Now, the cracks are showing. Documents are leaking. Testimonies are surfacing. The pieces are coming together. And the picture they form is terrifying. Not because aliens might exist, but because they might have been here all along. And our own government decided that we, the people, couldn't handle it. So, what's more frightening? The idea of life beyond Earth? Or the possibility that your government lied about it for over 70 years, while secretly using the technology and knowledge they gained from it to manipulate and control the global narrative? As you watch this, more files are being declassified. More insiders are speaking up, their conscience compelling them to break decades of silence. The truth is surfacing, but only for those who are willing to look past the official story and face a reality that is far stranger than fiction. Roswell was real. The documents prove it. The testimonies confirm it. Evidence no longer hides in the shadows. The only question that remains is what else they're still hiding. As if this was covered up for 7 decades. What else has been buried? Keep watching. The rabbit hole goes deeper than you think, and the truth is waiting at the bottom.